Welcome to season 3 of the Living and Learning podcast. We are so excited to hear more about how our mission statement is actually lived out across each of our programs. We're going to hear stories about excellent academics, living in community, and what it looks like to engage in the world with a biblical worldview. We are so excited to spend some time with you together. Hello, everybody, and welcome back again to our Living and Learning International podcast. I am really excited to get to have these conversations with our guests. My name is Sara, and I get to help with the enrollment side of students who are planning to do a semester internationally with Living and Learning. But I'm really excited today because Living and Learning also has a domestic program as well. And we have someone who has gone through what that has looked like and is also part of that program now. So, Fernanda, I am so excited that you are with us today. Again, we are going through our mission statement as an organization. And so we're going to get to hear some stories from Fernanda today about what it looked like for her to come in with a worldview and kind of learn how to continue responding with a biblical Christian worldview during her time on the bus. So, Fernanda, tell us a little bit about who you are. When were you on the bus as a student? And then tell us a little bit about what you're doing with Living and Learning now.
Hello, thank you so much for having me, Sara. My name is Fernanda Gonzalez, and I was originally in the bus as a student in the summer of 23. But my time was only for a short time, so most students get a couple months or a whole semester, but I was only in the program for a week. So mine was a
Mm,
little bit different than everybody else's. But we got to
yeah,
do a lot of things in my week. It felt like a
totally.
month. So
Yeah. That's awesome.
currently, currently I am the resident coordinator at the bus, which stands for Baltimore Urban Studies. So I take care of all the students that live here as they go off to internship and take their classes.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm excited to hear a little bit, yeah, just from your perspective when you were a student, even if, we know that transformation can happen in any amount of time. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about what that looked like for you, and even how that impacts the fact that you're now kind of guiding students through that experience as a staff member. So I'm super excited to hear some stories from you. We are going to take a quick break and then we will jump right back in with Fernanda.
Want to be the first to know when we're waiving application fees for our study abroad programs? Hear exciting updates about new opportunities? And always know when our team will be visiting your campus? Subscribe to our newsletter. It's a quick, short email once a month that keeps you in the loop with living and learning. Subscribe today using the link in the episode show notes or on our website.
Okay, Fernanda. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about kind of just your background from where you came from and how, yeah, that kind of influenced your decision to jump into this opportunity with Living and Learning.
So I'm originally from Texas, Houston, Texas to be exact.
Yeah.
And my parents always raised me in a Catholic sense. So I'm still Catholic to this day, and I've done all my sacraments. So I'm
Mm,
pretty invested in the church. When I was younger, my mom was really involved with the church. So I would go there every Sunday. I would go there for catechism and go to retreats and be in the choir and all that sort of things. But now that I'm a little bit further from home, I don't get the chance to do all of that all the time. But I still do go to church every Sunday. So, yeah. And the religion didn't have like a huge role to play with me deciding to come here. It was
mm-hmm,
mostly like education based.
mm-hmm,
But God does work in mysterious ways.
mm,
And at the time that I was offered this role, I was in a place of like deep doubt and just like
Hmm.
questioning if I was good enough to do anything because it was
Hmm.
nearing my time of graduation from college. And I didn't know where I was going to land. So I was a little bit like, oh, I don't know what to do. And then Micah reached out and he was like, we would love to have you here. Um,
Wow.
and I did really enjoy my time here during uh, being a student. So
Hmm.
it ended up working great. So I will say that God did have a role, but it
For
wasn't
sure.
my biggest deciding factor. It was more just like relief of me feeling like I did have somewhere to go. And
Mm.
obviously, my parents feel like nice and excited that the place that I'm staying in was previously a
Yeah.
resident for nuns.
Yeah.
So it's a little close to home.
Mm.
So it worked out.
Yeah. Yeah. Some rich history there, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So even as you, when you were, if you're thinking back to when you were thinking about joining as a student, were there things that you were particularly like passionate about coming into your experience with the bus? And then, yeah, did those things you had mentioned even that the educational piece is kind of part of what you're making your decision looked like to join the bus for that period of time. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about maybe some things that you were passionate about that led you into your decision to join as a student.
Yeah, so originally I went into college thinking that I was going to go into the pre med track. So I
Mm,
wanted to be a pediatrician when I first went in. And I still am very passionate about biology and mathematics. So I'm very STEM heavy. Um, but during my time with Texas Lutheran University, which is what brought me to bus as a student the first time, they offered an opportunity for a extra credit that was theology and public health, so it would
mm,
count for two of my prerequisites. And so I decided to come down, and actually my time at bus, even though it was very short, changed
hmm,
mostly everything about my educational aspect. I changed careers. So I'm no longer pre med. I am now very research heavy. Um, and it brought me more into the light of public health, where I could be in commune in communion in a way, and communication and intervention with people
hmm.
that need it before a treatment is needed, because doctors
Yeah.
can only help so much, but
Yeah.
researchers help a lot of the time, in the backstage, so you don't really see the effects, but the people that are experiencing definitely feel it.
Hmm,
So it shifted my track. I'm still very
hmm.
STEM heavy, very biology and mathematics, but now it's more the research aspect, like with intervention rather than the MD side, where it's
Sure.
just like we're just trying to make it better as you're
Yeah.
experiencing it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. And the even I know we keep saying like you were there for a week, but it was so jam packed full of things and it had, it sounds like, a huge impact on your life. So, can you even give us like a little window into what you experienced during that week that you were in Baltimore and, yeah, experiencing that urban setting, experiencing public health? Like, what was that like for you for that period of time?
Right. So we spent most of our time in Baltimore. We did have a day trip to DC, which was also very impactful. I got to see a lot of things in history that normally it
Mm.
wouldn't normally be at the front center of my mind, but now it is because of
Mm-hmm.
that trip. But in Baltimore, so it was eye opening, and that's what shifted my view, because if you take the position of, oh, it already happened, let's just try to make amends with it, nothing's ever going to get better. We have to start
Mm.
from the ground up. We have to start
Mm-hmm.
upstream instead of downstream. to see what is causing people to get these um, medical impairments. And once we prevent that, then there's nothing that we have to manage on this side. Now we just
Yeah.
have to make sure that people are educated and have the proper resources to be able to stay away from that. During my time here, I saw a lot of that, and it shifted.
Yeah, yeah, which is huge. And I think that is you you pointed to um this idea of being able to see the needs in the community that you were living in. And so, yeah, tell us even a little bit more about that and how did that sit with you and the worldview that you had come into your experience with? And obviously, it impacted you so much to where you decided to pursue, a different kind of branch of the field that you were interested in. So, what was that like for you to kind of sit with assessing and seeing needs of the community that you were in, um, and then choosing to, make a different decision, um, for the entire like trajectory of your life because of what you experienced?
Yeah. Yeah, sitting with it was a little bit heavy at the time
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I have a big I guess not issue, but like a big
Mm,
thing in the part of my brain that's like I never want to disappoint my parents.
mm,
So I had always grown up with this idea of like, oh, you have to be a doctor to be successful, and that's what
mm,
I was going for. But then during my time here, I I got to experience people that need doctors and don't have access to them.
mm,
Um, and it just it was pretty intense for the first couple weeks because I was like, I don't know where my life is going. Like, I no longer feel called to be a
mm,
doctor that people can't access. I don't
mm,
want that. I don't
mm,
want to be walking on the streets of an urban community and seeing people that desperately need to go to the hospital but they can't.
mm.
um so yeah, it took me a little bit back in Texas. It took me a little bit of
Yeah.
time to like wrap my head around it. But when continuing on the debate of the discussion of the diabetes,
Mm,
one of our assignments for the class was after we left Baltimore to go on an in-depth research of something that you
mm,
saw or want to explore more about Baltimore. And mine and my partners was the diabetes issue. And so just like looking more into the statistics of that, not only here in Baltimore, but in the state of Maryland and also in all of the states of the United States, it, yeah, it really, really pushed me to be like, I
mm.
can't just be letting this like, oh, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. It's fine. So yeah, it took me some time and some prayer and some intentionality to really like go through these things in my brain, and definitely
Yeah.
some discussions with my parents. But once we had the conversation and I told them how I was feeling, they were all for it. They were like,
Hmm.
you know what you need to do, and if this is what you're being called for, it's
Hmm.
not up to us and it's not up to you to
Mm,
say no. Like, take the back pedal, like, oh, I don't
mm,
actually need to do this. No, because that's what you're being incentivized to do, by something that isn't necessarily any of us. So
mm.
it was more like leaning on the fact that there was something else pulling me towards it, and not just my friends or my family or my
Yeah.
teachers or even me. So
Yeah, yeah, which is so powerful. I mean, that is like to know that there is something bigger than us that calls us and sustains us through these I think it's amazing to see a really great challenge in the world and how that aligns with our passions and our skills and all of these things that comes from the Lord. Those things meeting is like a very a very powerful moment. And so Yeah, even I'm curious a little bit about that process for you of recognizing like, okay, I now understand that this is not coming from me. This is not coming from faculty. This is not coming from family or friends. This is coming from something much bigger than me in who my heavenly father is. Like, what was that process like for you once you returned back to Texas and you were like, okay, this is maybe different than what I would have imagined my life to look like.
Yeah, I think for me, it does take a lot of intentionality and also a lot of perspective shifting for me to really sit down with these types of thoughts. So, as I said, I had seen it a lot in Baltimore. Like, I was openly aware of it all the time, that I
Yeah.
was seeing just everything that was going on right in front of me because it was a new thing. So, I was
Yeah.
excited. So,
Yeah.
you know, everything's different when you're excited and ready and predisposed to learn something. So I was just absorbing. And when I went back to Houston, I actually, I was like, oh, this is not just a place that I live and not just my
Mm,
home, but I'm actually seeing all the things that I wasn't intentionally seeking out before I came. So looking at it with new eyes, like being excited to learn about the place that I was in
mm,
and recognizing that these types of issues exist everywhere. And it's not something that you can just detach from yourself and be like, oh, that happens over there, but that doesn't happen in my home. No, it happens in my home. I was
mm,
just not looking for it.
mm,
So for me, it does, God does work through people and experiences. It's not something that I just like sit with or go to church with and discuss, and then all of a sudden I miraculously have all the answers. No. For me, it works slowly and it works through people. So definitely like just going around, talking to people or just walking with people, going to high schools and middle schools and
mm,
learning about that from students, talking to other family members that have these issues, and how their children feel, how their members feel. It, yeah, it was the way that it was working to make connections in my brain that
mm,
it's not just about me.
mm,
It's a decision made by everything
mm,
and not just from me. I wasn't,
mm.
I didn't want to change my career just because I wanted to change my
Right.
career.
Right.
It, I saw it, like I experienced it. I was affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I need to change my career. It wasn't a want at that point. So
Mm,
it was definitely like prayer with people instead of prayer with myself. Um, and obviously prayer also with myself
mm-hmm.
sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's calming,
Mm,
but definitely with others and just hearing them talk about their experiences
hmm.
while they're in my presence, holding my hands, and just asking for things that I can't grant and it's up to
Mm,
God to grant. Um, but I could have prevented
hmm.
is, yeah, it's really just,
Yeah.
that's what it looked like for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is, yeah, that is so beautiful because that is like, as I'm hearing you share, there is just like such deep conviction in you, and to the point of literally making a decision to change the course of your life, and that began through this experience in Baltimore in an urban setting where you saw different needs than what you had seen before, and you walked with people through what that looked like and the realities of that in the world, and you returned to Houston and still allowed yourself to wrestle with that. You didn't just leave it in Baltimore. Your conviction was so deep that yeah, you had to continue thinking about it. And so that is um that is so powerful, and that is, what we hope students experience is challenges in the world that we can't turn a blind eye to anymore because we're not ignorant to them anymore. But how do we engage in that challenge in the ways that we think Jesus would? So we are going to take one more quick break. This conversation is so exciting. It's so energizing to me. So we're going to take one more quick break, and then we'll wrap up our time with Fernanda.
Hey, this is Bethany, the Director of Operations and Outreach at Living and Learning International, and I have a quick invitation for you. I hear people tell me all the time, I wish I would have studied abroad before I graduated. Well, I don't want you to miss out on the opportunity to spend time abroad and earn credit towards your degree. If you're ready for an incredible cross-cultural experience, consider spending a summer away with Living and Learning. During your summer away, you'll earn internship credit toward your degree from a unique internship placement related to your area of study. You'll also get the opportunity to dive into the culture of Quito, Ecuador, explore the wonders of the East Coast, or walk through history in Rome, Italy. Students who spend a summer away develop unique skills that get you career ready while you're immersed in a new culture. If you're ready to apply for this life-changing experience, visit livingandlearninginternational.com.
Yeah, Fernanda, it has been so impactful just to hear a little bit about how this experience has really shaped you, how not just the experience, but people, like real people that you did life with, that you experienced needs from. Yeah, that you've really allowed that to continue impacting your life since your experience there. And now you've returned to the bus, you've returned to Baltimore. And so what has that kind of been like as you are now getting to be kind of on the other side and sitting with students as they are processing through and wrestling through their worldview that they're coming in with, and the ways that they're experiencing Baltimore and how that might be shifting their worldview? What is that like for you to now be on the other side of that?
Yeah. It has its really good moments, and it has its really hard moments, because again, these students are individuals that are different from me. I
Mm-hmm.
can't always tell them like this is what I'm feeling and then have them reflect that feeling. Um, they're different people. So, and they come from different places. They don't
Mm,
all come from Texas. They don't all come from Houston. So they don't know exactly where we're at in parallels with each other. But it's really fulfilling to see the students change over their time here. Um, they come in one way and they leave a different way, and it's amazing. Really, really,
mm,
it is. Um, they get to experience their internships, and they also get to experience different religions, different sects, different everything, really, settings. Some of them have never been in an urban setting before.
mm-hmm.
It's definitely a journey that we have to walk with every one of them individually. You
Yeah.
can't say like, oh, these three have similar experiences, and then these three have different experiences, but also similar. No,
Yeah.
every individual has a different experience, even though sometimes there are similarities between two students. That doesn't mean that they're feeling the same, or that they're experiencing things the same, or that they're thinking through things the same.
Yeah.
So it's it's empowering, really,
Mm,
for me to be able to empower them to be their own adults and talk through these things and wrestle with these things and sit through these things that are hard, and sometimes you just want to like brush under the rug, or think about it really quickly and then all of a sudden
mm,
it's solved. But you can't. You have to live in the in between, and always keep moving.
mm,
So we say it a lot here. run when you can, walk when you can't run, crawl when you can't
Mm,
walk.
mm,
So it definitely feels like a very, very slow crawl at times. Um, but it's amazing, and
mm,
seeing them blossom, it's
mm,
really a an experience of transformation. Um,
mm,
some of them go into their internship sites thinking like, oh, this is going to be so exciting, I'm going to get so much experience. Yes, and you're also
mm,
going to have the hard moments.
mm,
A lot of our internship sites have people that are they're living through very hard times, and you can't always just leave that at work. You
mm,
bring it home with you, and just being able to process that with yourself and with others, it takes some getting used to. But
mm,
it's amazing, and
mm,
I love to see them figure
mm.
themselves out as time progresses and
Yeah.
become more of a community with each other and
Mm,
with us. So
yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. And that you all have you all there on the team, you all are so committed to that. Like you are so committed to walking with students through the things that they see and the things that they experience. And I think, you know, a lot of times there might be this misconception that as American students, I need to go outside of America to see the world and see the challenges and see what's going on. And obviously, as an organization, we we believe that that happens outside of the US as well, but that happens here. Like that happens in our communities that we live in, that we've lived in for a long time, that have really deep history. And so I think it is a very, very unique opportunity to experience that alongside a team of people who are committed to Jesus, committed to walking with students, um, committed to the hard work of transformation when a student sees something they've never seen before in the country they've known their entire lives. Like um, that could be really heavy. And so I just want to acknowledge you in that and thank you for the work that you are doing alongside the team there in Baltimore, alongside the students who are there now. Um, before we officially close out this conversation, is there anything that you would say to a prospective student to encourage them to jump on the bus, to encourage them to think about taking advantage of taking what they're learning in their college environment to an urban beautiful setting in the US? How would you encourage a student in that?
I mean, it's definitely what you said of like, it feels like sometimes American students want to run away from their problems to other countries. But you also have to face the things that are happening here now, because we all do make a change. Even though sometimes it doesn't feel like we're making a change, we all do. And yeah, definitely come learn at the bus.
Hmm.
It's very eye opening. Some
Hmm.
people do come from urban settings, but they don't come from like the really like the core
Mm-hmm.
of these environments, and we
Mm-hmm.
are the core here. So yeah, come view our center and learn these amazing people. We have some neighbors that have been here all of their lives, and
Mm.
just how this place has evolved with them
Mm.
is very, very beautiful to hear about and to be able to contribute to, because
Yeah.
we do also partner with the community to do gardens and
Mm.
do construction buildings and stuff like that. So it it really does feel like you're having an impact on something, where
Mm.
sometimes it feels like you're not in control. But
Mm.
here you can be in control of certain situations that move the U.S. forward, really,
Mm,
and then seeing how you can bring that back with
mm,
you, and teach others that haven't necessarily had this experience about
mm,
how to bring that into the communities that you live in.
mm. Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful. And that is so exciting. And I'm excited for those who will listen to this episode and feel that same sense of conviction that you've been talking with through this entire episode and choose to make a decision to enter into a new environment and see things differently, see challenges differently, see different needs in their own backyard of the US, and how that will empower them to take that back to their home context, wherever that might be. So, thank you so much, Fernanda, for sharing a little bit about what it was like for you to experience the bus as a student for that period of time, and then how that deeply impacted you and eventually allowed you to return to the bus as a team member, caring for students as they experience what that looks like for themselves. So we really appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming on and sharing some stories with us.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you for spending some time with us on this week's episode of the Living and Learning podcast. If you want to learn more about us, you can follow us on Instagram or find our website in the show notes of this episode. We cannot wait to get to know you more throughout this process.